So we are, nope, didn't change the wording on, this has few clever assessments. Anyway, welcome back. Keep discussing in other forums. And there were just a couple things I wanted to mention as we wrap up the first chunk here, that as I was catching up on things in the chat, a thing that struck me, just two things actually that pertain to course policies. One is, in terms of being open and available and encouraging students to contact you, I will say I want to acknowledge that it is easier if you feel comfortable sharing a lot of yourself, and that can cause us to feel like we have to share a lot of ourselves with our students. If I am much more likely to have students talk to me about their own depression if I explain to them that, like, I struggle with depression and I am on medication for it, and that has made my life a much better experience. My students don't necessarily have a right to know everything about my personal life. That is a thing that I feel comfortable sharing, but I didn't for a long time as a teacher. And there is a balance between what you want to disclose, and I think we should not feel obligated to share any more of ourselves than is good and right for us, whatever our situation is in life. So it definitely helps students feel like they can talk to you, but that comes at a cost. And depending on your identity and your position in the class, there are going to be real structural or kind of, things in the world about how power works in the world that may make you not want to disclose things, because if you are a woman, if you're a person of color, if you are any number of different things, you're already starting off with less authority in front of a class. And so the disclosing vulnerabilities is not something that you should ever feel obligated to do. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. And then just a thing that no one actually mentioned in the chat, but I was reminded of this. A lot of times our course policies are dictated by the real world, which is a huge pet peeve of mine, in that these are adults who are in this is their real world. And also a huge number of faculty members have never had a non-academic job. And so hearing faculty members talk about, like, well, in the real world, you can't just call in sick without a doctor's note. Yes, you can. And I think it is a real pet peeve of mine when we have these course policies that do a lot of harm to our students, because we feel like we are being rigorous or whatever it is that we justify having really kind of draconian course policies with the real world as being this justification, when I worked in an office for 2 years before grad school. If I was sick, I just called in sick and no one said anything about it. So the idea that we need to teach our students what it's like to have consequences, like some of these are just legitimately not actually borne out by reality. So anyway, off my soapbox. For folks who need to leave, it was lovely seeing your faces, and we will reconvene next week or on the internet in a variety of fashions. If you are planning to duck out, if you could do that before we split into the next set of groups, that would be great. Thank you all for coming, and if you are leaving, have a great week until we chat again. And for folks who are sticking around, there are, and I can throw this into the chat, or someone can. It's hard for me to do when I'm in presenter screen share mode, but someone can do that. And just spending some time, I would encourage you with your new groups as they will be formed, picking one of these. So these are all resources through CAST, which is it is an amazing website of all kinds of examples, which I think a lot of times having actual examples to look at. They have all of the participating institutions that are officially part of their UDL consortium. And you can see all kinds of different classes that are doing different, they kind of break it out into, here's a course and here's ways that they are doing these kind of what these three different principles look like in a business course, in a science course, in a language course, whatever. So I would encourage you to pick one of these that speaks to you. And we are sort of circling around and moving towards having syllabi that are that we will be in a position to revise and workshop syllabi by the end of this, and course design as a whole. So you could think about the syllabus itself, think about what learning goals look like with keeping kind of UDL in mind, emotion and learning. There's some really interesting stuff there. Assessment, executive functioning, social learning, blended courses, case-based learning. All of these are all linked in this original link up here. So discuss with your group mates which one speaks to all of you. I'm going to reshuffle some rooms because our numbers are no longer what they were. Okay, we'll do rooms of 3 to 4 people. I'm going to do this for about half of our remaining time, and then have some time for kind of general discussion with everybody all back here. But I wanted to give people a chance to really dig into some of the specifics if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. So how might you adjust your course policies? How might you adjust your assessment? How are there things that you hadn't thought about but you would like to think about? So these rooms look like they all have an appropriate number of people in them. So here we go.